The rich girl says, I can't even think about eating at the same table with the maid's daughter. Get away from my table right now, or next time this plate will be in your face, dirty girl. The maid comes and says, but madam, what did she do? The spoiled girl says, and you, maid's daughter, better keep quiet and take her away from here. Hearing the noise, the rich girl's mother comes and says, I don't understand why there's so much shouting. What's going on? The spoiled girl says, people like her don't deserve to sit at a rich table. And anyway, I don't understand why this poor girl is in my house all day. The mother says, look, I don't see why you were so upset. The spoiled girl says, I don't like it at all. And if she doesn't get up, I won't eat my food. Take her away. Take her away. The woman tells the maid, take your daughter's plate and feed her somewhere else. The maid sits her daughter in another place and starts feeding her. The woman comes to the maid and says, I hope you're not upset. You know children can be very stubborn at this age, and they understand when they grow up. I hope you forgive her. The maid says, madam, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't allow your daughter to behave like this. A well-mannered child doesn't act this way. The woman shuts her up and says, what do you know about values and manners? You should be thankful that I let your daughter stay in my house. Then a man comes and says, hello, dear. How are you? What happened? Why is Victoria eating on the floor? The wife says, that's what I was asking the maid. She told me the girl likes to eat sitting on the floor. You know children have habits. The man leaves. The maid says, madam, why didn't you tell your husband the truth? He could guide your daughter. The woman says, Amanda, what do you want me to say? That Victoria was eating on the floor because my daughter pushed her away from the table? I will not make myself look like a bad mother. You will never hear that from me. So don't say a word about it, understand? The maid says, yes, I understand. The lady leaves. The little poor girl asks her mother, Mama, are we poor so we can't eat at the table? The mother says, don't say that, dear. Sometimes staying quiet is better, so peace remains. Meanwhile, the man tells his wife, I went to the kitchen and heard your conversation with the maid. The wife says, dear, you must have heard unnecessary things. It was just women talking about the house. The spoiled girl breaks the poor girl's toy. The poor girl says, why did you do that? Why are you so mean to me? Hearing the noise, the wife says to her husband, you rest, you're tired. I'll see what happened and tell you later. The wife leaves. The spoiled girl says, because in my house, cheap dolls are not allowed, poor girl. The poor girl says, it's not cheap. My mom bought it for $1. She worked hard and brought it for me with love. Why are you doing this? The rich girl says, because I want you and your maid mother to leave this house. I don't like you here. Then the lady comes. The poor girl says, madam, your daughter broke my doll. The spoiled girl says, that cheap broken doll was already bad. And mommy, I'm the only beautiful girl in this house. Why do we need other girls here? I want her gone, gone, gone. The mother says, enough. I can't take your bad behavior toward Victoria anymore. I will tell your father everything and see what he does. The spoiled girl says, if you tell him, he will throw the poor girl and her mom out of the house right away because my daddy loves me. The father comes and says, my daughter is not happy with Victoria and Amanda, then they will not stay here. The wife says, dear, maybe you don't know the whole truth. Victoria was eating on the floor because your daughter pushed her away from the table. She's too spoiled and has no humility. The husband says, then that's even more reason for Amanda and Victoria to leave. Amanda, pack your things and take your daughter out of this house. The maid and her daughter leave. The rich girl hugs her father and feels happy. The next day, the little girl comes to her father and says, Daddy, what's going on? All my clothes are gone and I have to wear these old clothes. The father says, oh yes, I forgot to tell you. Your mother took everything to your grandparents' house. You only have what you're wearing and what's in your hands. And when they get dirty, you'll wash them yourself. If you make the kitchen or house dirty, you'll clean it yourself. The spoiled girl says, why me? And why did mommy leave? The father says, because she got tired of your bad behavior. Now it's just you and me in this house. The little girl says, and who will make my bed? Who will cook food? The father says, you will do it yourself. I'm going on a business trip. The little girl says, so I'll be alone in this big house? The father says, no, dear, there's someone trust who will take care of you. The little girl says, who? The father says, don't worry, you will learn a lot with her. The father takes the girl to the maid's house and says, from today, you will stay here so you can learn a lesson. The spoiled girl says, no, daddy, you can't leave me here. The father says, it's decided, dear. My rules will apply. I'm leaving. Take care of yourself. The father leaves. The maid says, don't worry, girl. Everything will be fine. Slowly, the little girl starts to understand. She begins helping with the housework and becomes friends with the maid's daughter. One day, the little girl asks the maid, why haven't my mommy and daddy come back? The maid says, don't worry. They won't leave you alone. In fact, someone is here to meet you. The little girl runs and hugs her parents. She says, mommy, daddy, I missed you so much. Thank you for teaching me that everyone is equal and respect is the most important thing.